Jojo, have you picked up the new fight kit yet with the new name and everything on it, or have you seen it yet?
I went in yesterday, but they've not put the print on yet, which is, I was looking forward to seeing it, and yeah, it's not on there yet. But I've told John that I'm sticking to the Calderwood. Wink, wink. Hopefully he doesn't see this. He doesn't watch my interviews. He says they're terrible.
It's silly, but is that going to be a special moment for you to see that? I mean, it's a big moment in your life, right?
It definitely is, and actually it already happened because when we were watching the fights that weekend there, it came on like advertising this weekend, and it came up Joanne Wood, and we all like jumped out of the couch and like it was like wow, and it was a really proud moment for me to see John's reaction. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So you elected to go ahead and get married during the middle of training camp, right? I mean, I guess, how stressful was that? It seems like two very stressful situations joining each other. How difficult was that for you?
It wasn't actually, but I have to admit I had paid someone to take that stress for me. I paid for a wedding planner, my good friend Avery, so she took all the stress away from me. And I mean, just the odd phone call and the odd give me money, but it wasn't that bad. It could have been a lot worse. I don't know how people do it, like just from hearing what she had to deal with. But yeah, it was great, and it made the day special. And I actually wanted to fight before the wedding, but I booked the wedding, and then UFC called me that week and was like, the week after or the 20th, and I'm like, okay, we're doing this. Yeah, let's go for the 20th.
That's funny. So, I mean, so then you have a change of opponent as well, right? I mean, is there any part where you're like, maybe the stars just aren't lining up here. Let's not do this fight thing this week?
No, definitely not. And the way I'm feeling right now, I'm glad that thought didn't even go through my mind. Like, I'm not a big drinker, and people are like, oh, you're not going to be able to celebrate your wedding, but that wasn't a big thing for me, and I actually enjoyed it more. And I feel like this point in my career, maybe if this happened like earlier, I would have been stressed out my box and like for the weight cut and stuff. But I've got consistency under my belt now, and I can take on these stressful moments and opportunities. And the wedding day was like a fight to me. It was like I didn't eat the whole day, and then I was like a little bit nervous, and then waiting for that person to come and take you and say, oh, this is it. So it was cool. Got to experience that. But obviously you're not getting punched in the face, and you're winning no matter what. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, it all played out good. And although I feel like it's kind of took the shine off this fight, because people are like, wait, you're fighting? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fighting. I've been training, and like nothing stopped. And so I guess I've just kind of been more like posting my pictures of the wedding, and people are forgetting. But yeah, the change in opponent, I was a little bit gutted because I was looking forward to Grasso. We're both coming up from strawweight. It would have been evenly matched weight class wise, and she's an exciting fight. So this is not going to be that much of an exciting fight comparing those two fighters.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, stylistically, like you said with Grasso, we know what that fight would have looked like. It would have been a lot of fun. This is probably going to look a lot different, right? So, I mean, what do you think about Taila as an opponent? Because I got to think, obviously she's got an impressive record. She's coming up the ranks, but I think stylistically it's just not going to be the most fun fight for you. So what do you think about her as an opponent?
Yeah, respect her. I feel like she looks great. Muscles on muscles, and her record's great, but I kind of looked at it more in detail, and like she's not really fought anyone since she got into the contenders. Like everyone she's fought from Brazil, and kind of not that great a record, couple of fights. So I feel like she definitely not fought the competition I've been in with. She just fought my teammate Roxanne, and Roxanne's known for being a grappler. She was trying her hardest to get her to the ground, so I'm like, this is probably going to be the same fight if she's trying to get Roxanne to the ground. So I can see it being grueling, but I'm going to make it fun and just go in there and do what I do and flow and have fun, try and make it an exciting fight.
Yeah, I was curious about the Roxy fight. I mean, do you go to Roxy and try to get any information and see, like, is there anything you can tell me about a trick? I mean, I know you guys are entirely different stylistic fighters, so is there any value to that, or do you not worry about it?
It's funny, actually, I think it was yesterday or the day before, she came up, she was like giving me some advice. I'm like, thank you, Roxanne, she's the best person. So yeah, she said a little thing, and I was like, okay, thank you. And yeah, we're both each other's biggest supporter. And obviously, I'm going to go in there and try and get a little bit of revenge for her. And yeah, so yeah, it's not like, oh, you should do this or you should do that. She's just like a little bit of advice, and I'm like, thank you, Roxy. So yeah, she's concentrating on her fight, and I can't wait to get back to help her as well.
That's awesome. I think if I'm right, is this only the second time you fought in the Apex? And if so, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it anything at all? The fighting environment.
For me, I love the crowds, but this is my second time fighting. The first time was no crowd. It was a little bit weird, but this time I'm looking forward to seeing how it feels like with a couple of hundred people, I think, in the Apex. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I like the bigger crowds, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be. I know some of my team are going, so I'm looking forward to just having that little bit of support.
Nice. Last thing for me, I guess, what's the overall goal here for you, right? I mean, you've had some kind of mixed results as of late, but it feels like you're in this amazing part of your life where everything's coming together for you. So, I mean, is this just go out there and win? Is it just go out there and have fun? Is it make some kind of statement and show people that you're still a contender? I mean, what's the overall goal here?
Always definitely going in there to win, We only get half our paycheck, so that extra little bit always counts. And, yeah, trying not to think too much about that, but that's always the goal. And then just, yeah, try and enjoy this journey and not put too much pressure on, oh, crap, I'm here again, and all the nerves and all that. Just be on the roller coaster and enjoy it as much as I can, and put on. Biggest thing for me is, man, I want a fight of the year. And it takes two to tango. I don't think this will happen this Saturday, but I'm always looking for these fights are happening. I'm like, I just want to be part of that. So yeah, that's also another goal of mine. But yeah, just go in there, have fun, and put on a performance.
Jojo, when you inevitably get like sales calls in the future, do you think it's going to be more confusing or less confusing that your name's just lost the Calder bit and gone from Calderwood to just Wood?
Sales calls? I don't answer those. You mean like spam and stuff?
Well, maybe just random people calling you and you're like, no, it's still Wood, it's just not Calderwood.
Oh yeah, I'm for sure correcting them. And honestly, Wood is more Scottish. Wood has they have their own tartan, they have their own clan. So for me, I'm getting more Scottish with the surname Wood.
Did you get tartan for the husband to wear on the wedding day?
He's like, I'm not doing that. If we were in Scotland, I would do that, but we're in America. Typical American.
Just arrogant bastard.
Yes.
Your mum came over for the wedding, right? How much thicker did your accent get when you were around her? And could the husband even understand you at that point?
It's funny because I feel like I've traveled so much that I'm always like, you guys think I'm bad? Wait till you hear my mom and my brother. Like, they're proper thick. So people had a few kind of issues with, what did your mum just say? So I was like a little bit of a translator, and yeah, it was fun. It was good to have her, and John definitely notices a difference when I've been FaceTiming or spending time with my family.
For a minute there, did it look like she might not be able to come over because of restrictions and travel only just sort of got lifted? Were you worried about that, or did you know, no, she'll be able to get here?
Yeah, there was a long time. That's why we kept on putting it off, and then eventually we're like, we're just going to do it. And luckily, I wanted my other family to come and my friends, but the most important person was my mom to be there, and she was grateful that she got there. It was very stressful for her. She hates traveling, so on top of being the whole COVID restrictions and all that, it was a lot stressful for her, but she made it happen, and I'm glad she did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, Joanne, was there ever a thought of going Joanne Calderwood?
That's how John proposed. He's like, "Are you ready to be Joanne Calderwood, hyphenated Wood?" I'm like, "Yes." So, in a funny sense, yeah, it would be funny, but no, I'm ready to drop the Calder and be Wood, for sure.
And then I've seen that you've been going to a lot of football games. Are you now a fan of football? And were you a fan of football before you moved to Vegas?
No, I wasn't. I didn't even know, well, I knew of it, but, football for us is using our feet. And, but I love learning about new sports, and actually I was at the hockey game last night and been going there every week or so. So yeah, I'm loving to go to these events. It's great atmosphere, and yeah, it's kind of making me a little bit more Americanized to go to these sporting events and enjoy them.